Hi everyone, I'm Smileypeacefun. Today's video will start off in Swiss German and then will later on switch to English. However, for the non-English speaking part, there are as always subtitles here on YouTube. Und damit wieder zurück zu einem weiteren Video in dieser Reihe, wo ja mittlerweile auch schon ein paar Videos gekommen sind. Und zwar geht es darum, ich liebe Escape Rooms, sie zu spielen, sie selber zu designen, darüber zu schreiben oder Videos zu machen. Und es hat sich langsam so ein bisschen etabliert, dass immer, wenn ich so einen Milestone von 100 weiteren Spielen erreiche, dass ich dann ein Video mache, wo ich so meine Tops und Flops erzähle aus der Schweiz und der ganzen Welt. Mittlerweile sind wir auch beim Video, wo so meine Spiele von 400 bis 500 geht. Und ich habe wie immer rausgesucht, was eben so meine Highlights und Lowlights daraus sind. Zuerst werde ich euch über meine Tops und Flops aus der Schweiz erzählen, was nicht ganz so viel Spiel dabei hat das Mal, weil ich recht von international unterwegs bin. Aber darum wird es dann nachher auch noch um die Spiele gehen, die ich eben außerhalb der Schweiz gespielt habe. Wie immer bei diesen Videos ist dazu zu sagen, ja, ich würde behaupten, ich habe relativ viel Ahnung von Escape Rooms, aber und das ist ganz wichtig, das sind alles immer subjektive Meinungen. Manchmal finde ich ein Spiel nicht so gut, weil an diesem Tag einfach einiges nicht funktioniert hat, so wie es hätte sollen. Und wenn ihr jetzt heute dort hingehen würdet, würde vielleicht alles genau so laufen, wie es sein sollte. Und natürlich umgekehrt, vielleicht finde ich etwas mega toll, weil es an diesem Tag einfach wirklich super gelaufen ist. Und wenn ihr dort hingeht, es kann immer etwas passieren. Darum denkt einfach daran, das ist alles immer meine subjektive Meinung. Ihr seht, ich habe hier von jedem Spiel ein Foto und aus dem eine Postkarte machen. Und dann würde ich sagen, fangen wir doch jetzt gleich an mit den Top-Spielen aus der Schweiz. Ich habe es schon ein paar Mal erwähnt, aber das Time Maze Team in Baden ist wirklich immer wieder in meinen Top-Listen, wenn die Leute fragen, was wir in der Schweiz spielen sollen. Hier haben wir das Spiel Kaleidoskop. Das ist ein ganz spannendes Thema, weil es sich mit dem Erfinder von einer gewissen, sagen wir mal, Substanz auseinandersetzt. Ich freue mich, dass man immer wie mehr, anstatt nur 60 Minuten, auch längere Spiele sehen. Sie haben einen ganz speziellen Einstieg in das Spiel und ganz viele verschiedene Sets. Eine Stelle im Spiel, die für mich ein bisschen lang gezogen war, aber das war so minimal. Wir hatten eine super Zeit bei Time Maze Kaleidoskop im Baden. Sehr empfehlenswert. Auch nicht fehlen auf dieser Liste darf Trip Trap in Genf sind eigentlich, seit ich mich erinnere, die bestbewertetsten Escape Room Anbieter in der Schweiz. Und keine Angst, wer wie ich auch nicht gut Französisch kann, die bieten ihre Spiele auch in Englisch an. Und hier im Spezifischen geht es um einen Uncle Cornelius. Das ist meiner Meinung nach ihr bestes Spiel, das sie bei Trip Trap haben. Es geht um einen Onkel, der ganz viel in seiner Zeit erlebt hat, weil er viel gereist ist und der quasi in seiner Stube von seinen Abenteuern erzählt. Es hat einen Teil im Spiel, der dafür sorgt, dass man es vielleicht sogar auch noch ein zweites Mal spielen könnte, theoretisch. Aber zu viel wollte ich hier nicht verraten. Es ist wirklich sehr gross, hat ganz viele verschiedene Sets. Ich finde, die Idee und die Story dahinter ist schlau und gut umgesetzt. Da gibt es aber auch zwei Spiele, die ich gespielt habe in der Schweiz, die mir nicht so gefallen haben. Das ist jetzt ein bisschen blöd gelaufen, dass die vom gleichen Anbieter sind, nämlich von Excitement in Spreitenbach, weil wir dort einfach alles an einem Tag durchgespielt haben. Ich fange mal an, wir haben hier das vergessene Tempo, so rum. Und zwar hat das Spiel das Problem gehabt, es ist einfach vom Setdesign her sehr, sagen wir mal, leer. Gar nicht viel zum Anschauen. Es ist jetzt auch nicht das grösste Spiel. Es hat relativ wenig Rätsel. Es ist auch von der Belichtung her nicht so toll. Also wenn man ein Spiel irgendwie im Halbdunkeln spielt, das ist meistens nicht so exciting. Darum das eher auf meiner Flop-Liste gelandet. Und so ein bisschen das gleiche Problem hat auch das Springfield-Spiel bei ihnen. Die Idee an und für sich ist mega cool. Ganz viel hier innen sieht aus, als ob man bei den Simpsons, der TV-Serie, daheim wäre. Aber jetzt rätseltechnisch darf man hier nicht allzu viel erwarten. Es ist schön zum Anschauen, aber dann wirklich zum Spielen. Weil in einem Escape Room tut man ja spielen oder erleben. Ist es nachher nicht so wahnsinnig spannend gewesen, Man muss aber auch sagen, und das wäre sonst unfair gegenüber Excitement in Spreitenbach, dass die auch ein Spiel haben, das mir relativ gut gefallen hat. Für Leute, die schon ein bisschen mehr Spielerfahrung haben, die haben «Der Puppenmacher». Das ist ein kleines gruseliges Spiel, das durchaus anspruchsvolle Rätsel hat. Einfach, dass man nicht den Eindruck bekommt, dass mir Excitement insgesamt gar nicht gefallen hat. Das ist nicht der Fall. And now we switch to English because I have international games I want to talk about. I could really not decide this time. I have 6 games here that I truly enjoyed. First of all, I had a bunch of really cool escape room friends that took me on a little Netherlands trip. And the Netherlands, they have some of the most amazing escape rooms in the world. This is called Molly's Game by Down the Hatch. It once was the best rated escape room in the world, and it is truly amazing. It has some very unique storytelling that I truly like, and I usually don't care about the story, but this game did it. It also had some great puzzles in it, really enjoyable. Early on in my career, I heard tons and tons of things about the Dome, which also at some point in time was the #1 rated game in the world. This game is by Mama Bazooka. Just think about it as a very weird fever dream. Is that the word? I think so. This game makes you feel like you're hallucinating because things appear out of nowhere, like outrageous in a good way. In terms of story, don't expect the focus to be on that, but just in terms of effects, it's truly still worth playing. Then we have Rock City Escape. We're still in the Netherlands, and this is their game, I hope I pronounce it right, called Puppet. I truly like this game because it's in an old, I think it's called monastery, and that makes for a truly unique setting which they build into their gameplay. It's all a bit creepy, they really outdid themselves, and also honorable mentions to Soup du Jour, which is another game that they have there, also really fun to play. If you have the time to drive out there, definitely do that. If you're in Amsterdam but you have a car and you have the ability to drive a little bit further, like outside the city center, there is Kammer 237. First of all, honorable mentions because we love all the free games that they have there. And funny enough, I like their smallest game the most, which is called The Concierge. It is a 2-player game, great for smaller groups. It not only has fun storytelling and some cool puzzles, but it also has a very unique mechanism towards the later half of the game that I've rarely seen escape rooms do, which really blew me away. Even though it was not really hard to pull off, but I think they really killed it with this one and with all their other games as well. Then we are hopping over to Canada. It's the Quebec/Montreal/Laval area, and escape room nerds should already know what I'm gonna talk about right now. Escaparium. This company is currently the #1 in the world. I was there in 2023, so I haven't played their newest game yet. However, they have a bunch of outstanding games. So honorable mentions go out to games like the Voodoo Queen, which was a truly fun, like almost piratey themed game. Honorable mentions go out to Wardrobe for Sale, which was one of the longest games I've ever played, but had such a fun character that was built within the game, and it was just truly magical. However, the game I decided to showcase here is called Forgotten Cathedral, and they did some mind-baffling things in terms of effects, in terms of scale, in terms of things like projection mapping, which is pretty new to the escape room scene, and also has some interesting puzzles in it. And that's always great when there's not only outlandish sets, but also fun, interactive puzzles for the entire group. And that's what Escaparium is capable of doing. And last but not least, I always do a fun escape room trip with my friend Anna, and we went to Vienna. And Vienna has a really interesting game by crime runners, and it's called Going Underground. It's truly the only game I think in Vienna that went out of the way to make such a long game with so many different scenes that you're traversing through, with interactive gameplay, with fun team activity tasks. And if you play this game, you feel like an adventurer because, as the game says, it feels like you're going underground. So if you happen to be in Vienna, this is the game you should go play. However, there were also some pretty bad escape rooms I played along the way, also internationally. If we want to stay in Vienna for a second, we had a pretty bad time at No Way Out, which is an escape room chain. Things went just pretty poorly when we went visiting. We had some disputes about how much money the games were going to be. They gave us a special price, and you'd think if they say special price, it's a little bit lower because it's a little bit of a discount because we're playing all the games at the same day, but that was not the case. Their special offer ended up being more expensive if we just went on their side and booked every escape room individually. But we, in the end, finally got our money back for that. The escape rooms were also not that good. There are some fine escape rooms there. I want to talk about their Da Vinci game. They were severely understaffed, or their staff just didn't have the accurate training. Because this is a split start room, which means half the group starts at one end of the game, the other half starts at another end of the game, and you kind of meet in the middle and then proceed throughout the rest of the game together. The game master who put us in the game forgot that this is a split start game, so she put us both in the same beginning area, and therefore it was only natural that the puzzles did not make any sense at all, because most of the time we were missing half the information. A prop that was not properly set helped me to bypass a lock and get behind a door to sneak the other person into the other beginning half so we could play the game as it was intended. Also, staying in Vienna, we have Time Busters, and Time Busters has some fun games, but one stood out to us in a bad way. It's called Kontrollraum. Look at all the things you can see in the picture. What if I told you that none of these things are in any way, shape, or form related to any puzzles in the game? There were so many old things to look at. They weren't made to look old, they were just old and dusty and dirty, and none of those things had anything to do with any puzzles, so there were red herrings all over the place. There weren't a lot of actual puzzles, so this was not our favorite game by any stretch of the imagination. Going back to Quebec for a hot second, we were at Exode, E-X-O-D-E, and we played their game Sarah. And again, they have other games that are truly fun and fine. With Sarah, I have a very grumpy face in this picture because I did not like this game. It felt almost like a kidnapping detective sort of, but most of the game played in a very boring living room, so the set wasn't really all that exciting and puzzles were few and far between. It was a lot of searching, and the game master actually warned us when we entered that we might not gonna like this game, and it turned out that we not really were a big fan of this. And even though I said that in the Netherlands you can play some of the best escape rooms in the world, we play one or two that weren't our favorites. So we were at Delft Escape and played their tower game. It is an actual standalone tower that you play the game in, so just from a unique location point of view, it was a special game. They made some effort, especially towards the end, to make this interactive and interesting, and the idea was to combine history with escape room puzzles. However, there weren't a lot of puzzles in here as well, and they just didn't flow all that good, so often we didn't quite know what to do, and we're just standing around being baffled at what we were looking at. So yeah, not our favorite. Also in Amsterdam, we were at Escape My Club, their steampunk game. Again, this is a bought game, so not self-made. Nowadays, I don't often see things going wrong in escape rooms in terms of like things malfunctioning. This game truly malfunctioned to a point where it was almost unplayable. We had a shortage, so all the electricity went out. Then when they tried to reset the game, it skipped puzzles that we haven't even solved yet. It was just a mess all around. The funniest thing is this game has a chain reaction in it, which I was super excited to see, and literally at step number 2 or so in the chain reaction, the whole thing failed, which at that point it was just laughable because the all-around experience was not that great, but the game master was super apologetic, so they at least knew they kind of screw up with that one. And yeah, that's it, my top and flop escape rooms that I play between my game number 400 and 500. I hope there were some inspirations of what you could play in Switzerland or all around the world, and definitely let me know in the comments below what game would you go and like to play. I'm still a little bit behind with my video series, but I will keep doing them, hopefully at least to 1,000 escape rooms. That's the goal here. I think all there is to say is I hope you liked this video. See you hopefully next time. I'm Smileypeacefun. Bye!